May I come in, sir?
Please. You are Mr. VIJAY Raghav Goyal?
Yes, sir.
Please take a seat.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sirs.
So, VIJAY, for the benefit of the panel, can you give us a brief introduction?
Yes, sir. So, my name is VIJAY Raghav Goyal. I'm from Rajasthan, Badmer. I was born and brought up in a district called Balotra. Primary schooling has been in Balotra only. Then I went to Kota and I prepared for the IIT. Afterwards, I'm into the UPSC preparation. In my free time, I generally saw cricket. I like to talk to my friends. But one of the things which I particularly like is computer vision. So I try to get aware of the things which are happening in that area.
Right. Now tell me, with that kind of a background and after having a professional degree, how is it that you got attracted to the civil services?
Sir, there are two reasons for it. So first thing is that I think I need a satisfaction in my life. And when I explored about various areas, one of the things which was the IIT, engineering, that was one thing which I felt I will be satisfied with. Then I got to know about UPSC and the kind of work which it provides, the kind of opportunities which it has. And I felt that it is something which will even satisfy even more. Second thing is that, sir, I think I need to give back to the society. And if I explore over all the areas, I feel the civil services is one area where I can provide back to the society the most.
Yes, but you are aware that the government spends a huge amount of funds training you to become an electrical engineer. What happens to all that?
Sir,
especially in a place like IIT Delhi, very prestigious.
Yes, sir. And sir, I am very grateful that government has spent such amount of money. The thing is that those money has made me an asset for the nation. And I don't feel that money is lost. Till the time I am young, till the time I am working, if I am contributing to the development of the nation, I don't feel that money is gone.
Right. You talked about cricket. Tell me something. In the recently concluded test, a world record was created. What was that?
Sir, India got 6 wickets, or India lost 6 wickets in 11 balls. That was first world record. Second was that this test was completed in 4.5 sessions. That is also a world record, that it was the fastest completed test.
Right. Are you aware that in Israel there's a tussle going on between the politicians and the judiciary? What has been the latest development in this regard?
So I'm not fully aware about it. I'll tell you what I know in this area. So there was a law that judiciary cannot take away the political, cannot rule out the political, the legal laws. So on that particular aspect, there was some tussle.
No, you were not clear enough. What was exactly at stake? What was the issue?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to recall more than that.
You've taken geography as your optional, right? So my final question to you: how do you distinguish between the intensity of an earthquake and the magnitude of an earthquake, and what are the scales used to measure each one of them?
Sir, the intensity of earthquake is the amount of damage which earthquake does. On the other hand, the magnitude of earthquake is the amount of power which the
energy.
Energy which the earthquake release. So if there is an earthquake, let's say in an area where there are weak buildings, even if the magnitude is less, the intensity can be very high because of the weak structures. For magnitude, we are using Richter scale. For intensity, we use a Mercalli scale.
Modified Mercalli scale, right?
Thank you, sir, for correcting me out.
Thank you. I hand you over to the next panelist.
Thank you, sir. So, Vijay, you are an electrical engineer, no? Let's go back to that field. And we hear quite a lot about electricity in India. That our electricity consumption is increasing very fast. And the government of India also wishes that this electricity should come from the clean sources. Okay? And that's how it has fixed a target of 500 gigawatts from renewable energy sources, out of which solar and wind would be the major part. But as we know that solar and wind are quite intermittent resources. No? So how do we then get firm power? If that is the case, no? Our total consumption, even the peak consumption, is roughly around 230 gigawatts. Yeah? We have a target of reaching 500. So maybe most of it will be then. How do we do that?
So the solution lies in hybrid power plants. If we can provide hybrid power plants, then it will first reduce some kind of intermittence. Second, we cannot rely on only one source. We need to ensure that there are not only solar power and wind power, but with that we need to provide base power from the thermal power plants which are using right now. Second, more than that, sir, we need to find a way where we can store the energy. For example, if we can store the same energy which we have created during the sun time.
So let me interrupt you here.
Sorry.
So that's one of the points on which I want to take you further. Storage of energy. So what are the government of India's recent big initiatives in this regard?
Sir, first we had the National Battery Transmission Program, where we are trying to make giga scale level batteries. Second, sir, we are trying to have a green hydrogen program. So we will be creating the hydrogen from the generated energy, and that hydrogen will be again used.
And what else?
So these are the two which is coming into my mind right now.
Okay. Have you heard about pumped hydro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And anything further than that in the term of international cooperation?
Sir, we are trying to make
big announcements at G20 and COP28.
Sir, there are announcements, but I cannot relate that particular thing with the energy storage.
Thank you.
Morning, Vijay. How's the weather treating you today?
Today it's fine, but last couple of days were really bad for me.
What's the temperature today?
No, sir, I did not check the temperature particularly.
You read today's newspaper?
Yes, sir.
What are the headlines? Which paper?
Indian Express.
Okay. What are the headlines?
Sir, there is the Aditya L1, our Aditya L1 satellite. So we are going to maneuver it into the L1 region, the Halo orbit.
And what is the second news item?
Sir, the government of Qatar has provided that we have 60 days to appeal for the orders which have been given on to the 8 personals.
Okay. Now let's come over to the state, Rajasthan, that's where you belong to. Tell me, Vijay, it's a beautiful state. 5 attributes which will make you proud to be a Rajasthani boy. Give me those 5 points in bullets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So first thing is adaptability, because even if it is a water scarce state, it has high textile industry which uses the water a lot. So that is first thing. Second thing, sir, I think about the culture. It is a colorful state. Even if when we go into the rural areas, still today a lot of people use the traditional attire, which is, I think, a very proudful thing. Third, I feel that, sir, Rajasthan is going to be the energy hub of the India because of the solar power and also the Mangla oil fields which are being creating in that area. So that is third thing. So fourth, I feel Rajasthan's backward areas is developing marvelously, to the extent that the Badme region from where I belong, it was in the least in the per capita income around 10 years ago, but today it's second to Jaipur only, which is the state capital. So the works in the backward region are really phenomenal in my opinion.
Good. Okay. This old pension scheme vis-a-vis the new pension scheme has been on debate, and a lot of state governments are for and against, depending on which government is there in particular state. Just throw some light and give your perception about both the schemes.
Yes, sir. So the old pension scheme provides a fixed pension to every government employee. On the other hand, the new pension scheme does not provide a fixed income, a fixed pension, but rather a pension which is based on the returns which will be provided from the contribution which they have made. So the idea is that because it is providing return, the new pension scheme is more risky. But apart from that, the new pension scheme is also more financially prudent, because the government's burden will not be that much in the new pension scheme.
So what's your take on it? You are aspiring to be a bureaucrat. So what would you advocate for and
So-
why?
So I will advocate for the new pension scheme only. The reason being, sir, even if there is risk involved, we cannot have a pension scheme which can affect the sustainability of the state. Even the RBI has stated that the new pension scheme has a potential that we may go south if some kind of crisis occur. So on that level, I feel that the new pension scheme would be more sustainable to do. And even then, the amount of money which the new pension scheme is providing, that is not little, to the extent that the life quality will be affected.
Last question to you, Vijay. Can you throw some light on the latest foreign trade policy which was announced last year and being implemented in phases?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not in the position to explain that particular policy.
Then I'll take one more question. I'll give you one more question from Rajasthan again. 4 personalities whom you think you could imbibe in your life.
So first one is Rajendra Singh ji. He is the waterman of India. So the kind of work which he is doing to improve there is phenomenal. Second, I will go with Neeru Yadav ji. She is the panchayat head of a region in near Jhunjhunu. She also came on to KBC. And being a woman, she is trying to do a lot of things in her panchayat from the ground level, like making a women hockey team or providing burtons so that plastic uses can be reduced. That is second one. Sir, I also admire the Ashok Gehlot ji, who was the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Because again, he also, as I said, that he worked a lot in the backward regions, especially Barmer. So I can see that I can see his work towards the development of the nation, development of the society.
But he was a very controversial kind of chief minister, where a lot of things have been flung on him. So you would like to imbibe him, or only the good characteristics of that gentleman?
Right, sir. Sir, there are good characteristics and bad characteristics. So I won't
you
go.
imbibe the good traits of a personality.
So everyone.
All right, all the very best. I'll pass on to my next member.
Hello Vijay, how are you doing?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Pick up on what you just said to sir, that Neeru Yadav, you said?
Yes.
That being a woman, she's doing, what exactly did you mean when you said being a woman?
Ma'am, because Rajasthan is traditionally stated to be a very patriarchal society, and in Rajasthan it is not common to find women in charge in the political domain. Even if when they are in charge, there is a possibility of Sarpanch Pati system. But then she had been a person who have defied all those social aspects, and now she is trying to improve the panchayat of that area. So I think that is a commendable thing from the character point of view. If a person has to take up so many resistances from the society and then coming out of it, I think it brings a lot of character.
But it still sounds a little patronizing, the way, it's being put across. Do you think you're being patronizing towards her? Saying that, she, as a woman, as if, nothing was expected from her, but at least she's done something.
Ma'am, it's not at least she has done. I think she is one of the best Gram Sarpanch which we have found. So
I'll pick up on something else you mentioned to sir, that you want to give back to society. Don't you think that being a trained engineer, you would be able to give back much better in the field where you've been trained and where you have developed some sort of skills?
Ma'am, if I talk honestly, I think that if I remain as an engineer, yes, I will be going into research. Yes, I would be trying to innovate and provide for the society. But at the end of the day, I know I will be going into the private sector. I will be chasing more income. And if I get an opportunity to go outside India and contribute there, I don't think I will be able to resist that. So that is one thing. Second, I'm comparing the electrical engineering with the civil services. even in electrical engineering, the thing which we are being taught is how to use technology. Even if there is something which we forget, it doesn't matter. We can learn the same thing in 2 to 3 months again. But the comfortability with technology is something which is the most important aspect of my training. I think if I bring the same thing into the civil services, and as now the civil services are going towards the governance via algorithm, so in that aspect, I think the impact which I can create will be more.
Okay, so I have a lot of things to say on that, but I think we'll leave aside. Let me ask you a few things about how on India's security. You're okay with that?
Yeah, ma'am.
Tell me, what do you think were the main security challenges for India in the previous year, 23?
Ma'am, there are traditional threats and non-traditional threats. If I go into the traditional threats, the main issues is the border aspect. We have 2.5 front war in India. So we have the problem of incursions from Pakistan and China. Second, the security aspect from the external aspect is again the digital security. The kind of cyber threats which we are been facing is humongous. Third, there is a problem of the insurgency in Northeast, especially in context of the Myanmar system, because now there is a brewing civil war there, which can impact the areas of our Northeast. If I go into the non-traditional threats, then I think the climate change is something which is the most important, especially because of the rising heat waves which have impacted the wheat production in India. Also, the diseases, especially the lifestyle diseases, are rising now, which I believe in future can lead to a new security threat for the nation.
Terrorism?
Yes, ma'am. Terrorism is also one of the reasons behind it.
Thank you.
Vijay is your first name?
Yes, sir.
Your email is GOYAL, and that's why I was confused. I want to get to your hobbies. You have mentioned computer vision technology. What is it and how it works?
Sir, it's basically interpretation of visual data. It's a part of our AI systems. For example, we use the QR codes. So we are taking a photo, and from that photo we are generating some kind of information out of it. Similarly, we are using facial recognition systems in our mobile phones, or we use the surveillance systems where or the DigiYatra system where there is, without any person, you can directly check into the airports. All these are using computer vision.
Is this the same concept which is used in the self-driving cars as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me more about it? How AI and all of these things can be used in a better administration for the basics as a DM? How can we use it?
Yes, sir. So the aspect is that as a DM, there will be three aspects of administration: policy making, policy implementation, and monitoring. In all these three aspects, AI can be used perfectly. For example, in making, we need to have a data-based policy, evidence-based policy. Data systems are huge, but we need something which we can process them fastly, and where we can use AI systems. For example, if we use the Swamitva scheme, which is having drones, which is mapping the entire rural area. So that drone will be providing us the information. The land areas which is suitable for some kind of activity, that can be figured out by the AI, and then we can proceed over it. In the execution part, again, the aspects like DBT or facial recognition or the QR code system which we are using right now, those can be expanded to a massive level. In monitoring parts, the community can participate via AI. For example, the systems like we can take a photo of a particular project and we can upload it out. Rather than having a person who look over all those things, we can have AI which will figure out what is the problem in that area, and then can figure out that what can at least flag that these are the areas where we need to work first.
Vijay, you are from Rajasthan. Last time I want to talk to you about the gender inequality. Why it is much prevalent over there in Rajasthan?
Sir, if we go into gender inequality, we have to see the historical aspects. So historically, the area has been invaded by lots of invaders, and there was a problem that women were always been a victim of it, and hence the area was something where a huge amount of protection or the huge amount of self-honor was linked with women. which has boiled up to the aspect of inequality today. Along with it, there is issue of child marriage, there is issue of dowry and domestic violence, which cumulated into the problem of gender inequality in there.
Thank you. I will pass on to Chairman, sir.
Right. Vijay, we come to the end of the formal interaction. We will give you detailed feedback, but prior to that, I would like to know from you your self-assessment. How do you think you fared? Is this your first mock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when is your interview?
So date is not yet disclosed.
Okay, good. So, your self-assessment, please.
So I think there were few areas which I anticipated, like AI, the woman aspect. So I was well prepared onto it. One thing. Second, there were areas like foreign policy that was totally missed by me. And I think in few areas like the woman question, I was not able to deliver my thoughts properly.
So Vijay, let me first make it clear that this is essentially not a test of knowledge. It's a test of your personality, and they're looking at various features like how articulate you are, whether you're able to give balanced opinions, right? Whether you think logically, integrity, empathy, all these things are in the mix. Now, you are an excellent candidate. But the only way you'll miss your target is if you shoot yourself in the foot. And you have to be emotionally mature and intelligent. The lady member raised a point. Immediately you should have said, "I'm so sorry, ma'am. That was not the impression that I wanted to give." She was offended, and rightly so. Being a woman, you said. Okay. Secondly, you took the name of a political personage. That again is absolutely not required, because you are appearing before a board which can have political opinions of many types. Someone can be a staunch opponent of that particular person. Avoid these kind of mistakes.
Sure, sir.
Because you are otherwise very well fitted. You were able to respond. And the last thing I would say is that keep in touch with current events, because your self-awareness, awareness of what is happening around you, that is a very key element for a civil servant. I asked you a question on Israel judiciary and you were unable to answer. Honorable member asked you another question on trade which you were not able to answer. So essentially the very good impression which you were creating got eroded to some extent, right? When you go there, of course, your hair will be neatly combed. It will not be all spiky. Your tie will be neatly knotted. Your shirt will be buttoned up, right? Shoes will be fully polished. All these things, because when you stride in, you need to give an impression of being an officer, not a candidate. Okay. And you are 90% there. All I would suggest is that keep yourself attuned to the finer points which are there. And you'll do very well. So in the time which is left, I would suggest take about 100 A4 size sheets. Think of all the possible questions which can come. They come from your DAF, from current events, and from your subject. Make a question bank. Then for each topic, do a deep dive, get to grips with it, and then jot down 4 or 5 bullet points in order of priority. And then practice before a mirror. Not more than 1.5 minutes for each answer. Brief, crisp, and to the point. So that will elevate your performance, and it will also give you something to do in the time to come. Because this is a heaven-sent opportunity, don't lose it, right? It will completely alter the trajectory not only of your life but of others, so many others which you impact as a civil servant. Any question from your side?
No, sir.
Anyone would like to add? Or?
We have
Covered
explained it quite
In fact, you have summed up everything, sir.
Thank you so much.
Just the posture part of it. This looks like we have been telling the others to keep it this way, as if you were waiting for a judgment to be given by the court. Take it easy.
Be comfortable.
Be
Would it be
comfortable.
okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. But
And
I don't know why this is like through YouTube and all. Every candidate I find coming in, they'll go to with their
condemned person awaiting the death sentence. That's
Yeah.
what it looks
So
like.
it is
Be
told to
natural.
us.
Now the way you're talking to us, be natural.
Sure, sir.
Be true to yourself. Thank you.
No, this is the first interview, I think.
Only
But
for me, yeah.
You can smile a little bit from time to time. You were looking very grim throughout the interview.
Okay.
It's not an interrogation.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir.
And the back of your back should touch the back of the chair, so that you're relaxed. Huh?
Sure.
All the best. You'll do very well.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you.
How have you done your mains?
Mains was good. I'm pretty satisfied by my attempt.
Okay, then we look forward to seeing your name in the list of successful candidates.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr.